Good evening to all the undead ghouls and monsters. We are your horror hosts for tonight's Last Rites. And tonight is a milestone for us. It's episode 25. We've been in the game for 25 episodes. And today, Monster Squad is a TV show based off a comic book called Revival. The TV show is 10 episodes long. It's based off the Sci-Fi Channel, and like I said, it's based off of Image Comics version of the Revival comic book series. And we got one more episode before the series, or at least for this first season. Hopefully, it gets a second season concludes. And so I'm 9 episodes in. And Ollin has actually read some of the comics, so he'll tell you a little bit about the comic series. But the show itself, I'm actually really digging, and I think it was you, right? You're the one who actually brought it to my attention. Like, you told me about it.
Yeah, a couple years ago they announced that this show was in production, and I was like, where have I heard this before? Because the comic book has sort of tapered off for me after a while, but I was following it for a little bit years and years ago. It wrapped up back in 2007, so it's been a while, and I kept going in my head, where have I? And one day I was going through my comic book boxes, and I ran into it, and I was like, oh, here it is. Here's the thing. And then when they announced that the episodes were coming out, I had to run and tell you.
Yeah, that's fucking cool. And then, like, just the overall concept, it's just so crazy. It's like almost everywhere across the board, but yet in the TV show, because I haven't personally read the comics, it works. They label it as horror, noir, drama, supernatural, and mystery. So it's got 4 different subgenres running for the show. And yeah, the horror noir is really cool. Obviously drama. It's if you're not running action or comedy, then it's basically drama. And then the supernatural aspect of it, I thought was really cool concept that they brought into it. And then it's like full on mystery. Like, as soon as I think I figured it out, it's like, nope, left turn. And then it's like a new mystery, and you're like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah.
And it's like, I like that because it's really keeping me on my toes. It's like I said, just when I thought I had it figured out, nope.
they come up with some other concept. Yeah, the concepts are really, really well thought out, well fleshed out. When I first came across the comic book, I was like, I don't know, like another zombie thing. I was like in this Walking Dead fatigue type of, it's 2007. I'm like, I don't know, but the thing that drew me into it is once I saw it actually at the comic book store. The covers are being done by this artist called Jenny Frison, and I love her artwork. I've been following her art for years and years, and she had done some really sexy covers for Vampirella, so that's when I first really caught my eye, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I've been following her art, and then she starts doing covers for this comic book, and at first I was like, I don't know, more zombie stuff, come on. I'm tired of the zombie stuff, but I look into it. I buy the first issue, just for the art, and it's Mike Norton, whom I followed for a little bit too. He's a really good artist as well, and I saw him, and I would buy his G.I. Joe stuff, so I was a little familiar with that.
Ooh,
and
I love me some G.I. Joe.
Yeah. So I knew him from that, and Tim Seeley is the writer. I knew him from this little comic book called Hack Slash, which is like another like horror action type comic book. And,
oh my God! So in one of the episodes, that comic book is knifed to the wall.
Right. It's also one of the ones that.
So I can see that's a nice little nod.
Yeah. They keep bringing up stuff like that. So, yeah. So I knew them from then, but I was like, more zombie stuff. Come on. And then I bought the first issue. and I read it, and I was like, okay, that's an interesting take on it's a type of zombie that I hadn't seen before, or it's a new zombie concept that it's not, again the thing that's always with the zombies that you see they're classic now with the George Romero zombies, you know. It was a new take on the zombie genre, and I thought it was really fresh.
Yeah, definitely. Before we get to it in too much deep, we like to crack one open real quick for our unofficial sponsor, Liquid Death.
It's hot out the one today, too.
Oh, yeah, it's freaking blazing. It's crazy, the humidity. But today we got ourselves some green guillotine. So this is Liquid Death's green tea. So if you guys aren't familiar with it, check it out. Get yourself a can. It's delicious. Definitely is going to hit the spot and cool us down and also murder our thirst. So here we go. Yeah, still me, no fizz, you fizz. Every time.
Very good. Green tea. You really do get the green tea-ness of it.
Yeah, this one's actually a lot more flavorful than most. The green tea really comes through very well with it, especially with the agave. And it says this one has vitamins in it, so I'd have to look and see like what vitamins are in this. B6, B12.
Oh,
looks
okay.
like. So it looks like they're adding a little extra. Contains 0% juice, so definitely no sugar. But that's so you get the sweetness from the agave.
Very good.
Yeah, very good.
Green guillotine.
Green guillotine.
I like some of these names that they've been coming up with some of these drinks.
Yeah. I love the play on words. All right, well, back to it. So, yeah, like I said, there's 10 episodes of the series right now for season 1. How many comic issues did we have for this? I just read just a little bit ago that it was a short run.
Yeah, it's a total of 47. And I never collected the whole thing. I eventually, comic book collection, it starts to get expensive after a while, So, like, if the story doesn't, like, grab you right away, or, like, it does, but eventually you become interested, it makes no sense to, like, keep buying it. So I was reading it online, and I think I read up to, like, maybe issue 25 or 26, and at a certain point I stopped there. There was other stuff I was doing, other movies I was watching,
I wonder how many of these comics were lost my point. How many issues of this comic series is season 1? I guess that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, that would be a good question. What I'm going to do is I'm a little bit behind on the series. I'm only on episode 6. And I guess the series ends, this week? Next week?
Next week on Thursday.
Next week on Thursday. Okay, so I have time to catch up. But I found on Amazon this trade paperback softcover.
Yeah, I was going to ask if
the whole thing.
Yeah, if it comes in a trade.
There's several trades for each of the story arcs, but I'm just gonna get the one that, like, contains everything, and I'm just gonna consume it that way. Just as a reread, and I am curious to see how if they approve another season 2, or even beyond that, how far into it are they gonna go? And that was one of the questions that I had for you, Brandon. You're a little bit more ahead. There's certain elements, and I don't want to get into spoilers, but there's certain the supernatural elements. That it starts to get really supernatural eventually. There's these, like, weird creatures and things. It's not just zombies, is what I'm trying to say. Do they show anything like that, or is it just zombies so far?
No, yeah, they do show the supernatural aspect. So you get to see the if you've read the comics, they're called the Glowing Men.
Mm-hmm.
You do see them, a couple of them.
Dope.
Yeah, and then you get to see what happens with a couple people when they come in contact with them, and then you get to see one person on video who comes in contact with them. So really cool really cool visuals, and the way they perceive. Some people are perceiving them as aliens. Some people are perceiving them as angels. So it's really cool to see like the take on these things, because nobody knows what exactly they are and what they're doing.
Yeah, because I was really curious after episode 1 or 2 when the little boy gets lost and they find him again, or he comes back, and he was out there for a little bit. They don't know exactly what happened, but he plays a role into that. So yeah, I was really curious to know how they did it in the show.
Yeah, he's what was I gonna say? I don't know. I'm just losing my train of thought all day to here. Oh, not him. The beings. They emit some kind of like siren, like hum sound, song.
Yeah.
They're emitting something, and it catches his attention. He can hear it. Everybody can hear it, but he was like more prone to hear it before anybody else. Like the scenes with him and his grandpa, and he like hears it in the car after his grandpa told him to stay in the car, and he gets out and goes and investigates it like any little kid does when they are told to stay put. And there's a little girl that comes back, and she hears it. They're actually spending the night at the little boy's house, and they have like a little camp out in the backyard, and you can see the glowing light like in the background through the tent, and then she's like being pulled. She's not, I don't want to use the word attracted, but she has this this sense of like she needs to go. It's like going towards the light. Has that sense of wanting to to go towards it, to investigate it.
That's an interesting way of putting it, because there's also revival. It's going into the light, but like kind of coming back.
Yeah,
sort of.
Yeah, and basically that's what this whole story is. There's a day that an event happened, and it's told that there was a giant bright light coming from the ground up into the sky, and then the next thing you know is that anybody who had died that day has come back to life.
Right.
So it's not the day before, it's not the day after, it's that day, and they call that revival day.
Right. So they're not your typical mindless zombies.
No, and it's wild because these people come back, and it's basically they've come back to life, and then it's like they didn't really miss a beat. They're functional, they can speak, and they just don't know what happened. They're just like, why am I alive again?
Yeah. Or like the ones that like didn't really know that they had died. Like to me, the little girl, I feel for her, because to her she just sort of went to sleep and woke back up, and then everybody's treating her weird because they're like, you were dead. Like,
yeah, the whole like scene with her in school, like the little boy, he basically like he befriends her because everybody's like making fun of the girl or like talking behind her back, and because she's the dead girl, and they're just weirded out, and they know that she's back, and then he's just like, hey, I missed you, I'm glad you're back.
Yeah. Or even her parents, there's some sort of they're like religious, so they're like, this is not of God or something.
Yeah, her parents were like assholes and just basically like wrote her off. So she ended up staying with Dana, who is the main character of the series, and the little boy, that's his mom.
Right.
The little boy is Cooper, and Dana, she is a deputy of this little town called Wausau, Wisconsin, and her father, who is Wayne, he's the sheriff of this town. And then also she has a sister named Martha, who they call M, which I'm not really sure why they call her M, especially the way they spell it. It's like E-M.
E-M, yeah.
Yeah, like, so I don't understand like the M part of that to Martha, like how they get that.
Like if her name was Emily or something.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense to me. But like M for Martha, like E-M, M, and then it's like, okay. Got to be something in the story,
something else,
something that was actually probably written in the comic and not in this. You're probably not going to ever get to that in this series, so you'd probably have to read the comic to see if there is any elaboration to that.
Right.
But the dead basically that come back to life, they call them revivers, and it happened on Revival Day. And it just so happens that M is also a reviver, but she doesn't want her father to know. Only her sister knows, and it basically turns into a mystery of what happened to her, why she became, a reviver. And that's just basically one of the subplots of the story that's going on in season 1. There's a lot to take in with this story, but definitely intriguing. She M was born with this weird bone disease, and I don't even know what it's called, but I'd have to look it up. I thought I had it here, but so she has this whatever this bone disease is. It's like it's like brittle bone disease. So any hard hits to the bones would break her bones.
Yeah,
and
shatter basically.
Yeah. So similar to glass from.
From the Unbreakable.
Yeah, from Unbreakable
yeah.
and Glass and what was the third one?
It was Split.
Oh yeah, Split.
And yeah.
Yeah. It was Unbreakable, Split, and Glass.
Yeah.
That's the trilogy. But yeah, she has the same thing that, but not to his degree. To his degree, he's in a wheelchair, but she's still able to function and walk and do all that stuff. But she has to be extremely careful with the things that she does. If she sat down too hard, she could probably break her
hip or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or her tailbone or any of those bones that are in that area. So
except now, well, it gets into the story, right?
Yeah.
I did so episode 1 is exactly issue 1. So it was a good, interesting thing that you brought up, how much of how the chunks of the story are gonna go with the comic book, and how are they going to? Because eventually you can't just replace it word for word, panel to panel, right? You have to do an adaptation. How much are they going to deviate from the source material? How much of it are they going to keep? The first episode was pretty much.
You can, because there's lazy directors and writers out there.
True, that's true.
They're like, I'm going to make some money, so if we just do panel to panel, and pump this out,
we can crank it out in a week or something.
Yeah, and then you get the guys who have a little more intelligence that they're just like, nah, we got to write an adaptation of this and and tell our version of it.
They want to be more creative, more propositions. Yeah. But the first issue, the first episode was basically the first issue. They're called the same, and they even end the same. And the reveal is that the sister, the younger sister with the condition, died. They just don't know how or what happened, and that's the mystery, right?
Yeah.
I believe they pitched it when they pitched the comic book series. They pitched it as Fargo meets The Walking Dead, and I think that's how they were describing the TV show initially. There's Fargo, the movie.
I can see it because it's in Wisconsin.
It's in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's knowing the whole time. The main character is a cop or a detective, and there's a murder mystery. She wants to know how her sister died, except there's this all these other elements of supernatural and the thematics are really really interesting. But going back to the character of M. Now that she's a reviver, she no longer has that condition, or even if she does, she heals. To put it a certain way, right?
Yeah. So that's another crazy thing. Is yes, they did come back from the dead. They're not your typical zombie, and I wouldn't even call them a zombie because a zombie is a little more brain dead. You know, the only thing that they have instinct on is to feed. As these revivers, they're not. I wouldn't call them zombies because they act just like a normal person. The only difference is some of them have abilities, and they also seem to be able to regenerate or heal themselves from any type of wound or ailment that happens to them as being a reviver. So there's a scene with one of them who's in this band, and he's starting to do similar shit to the back in the day when they had that Jim Rose circus guy. where he would do like self-mutilation.
Yeah.
So he had same thing here. He took like a knife or a machete or something like that and starts cutting his chest, kind of like Billy from Predator.
Yeah.
Goes from the diagonal formation from like the top corner all the way down to his stomach, and then you watch it heal, and you're just like, oh shit.
And he's all playing with it, sticking his hand in there and stuff.
He's getting real nitty gritty into it, but and then he just heals. So you're just like, oh wow, these guys can heal. But I mean, you also saw earlier on with the couple that they were tracking down, trying to figure out who killed the horse, because there was a scene with the horse that was basically found missing, and then it was dead, and then they're basically trying to investigate. They saw that the horse had like chunks of it, like someone was eating it.
Yeah.
So then you start thinking, oh, it's got to be something supernatural. And then you find out that it's one of the revivers, and you're just like, oh shit. But then you see like how strong this reviver is, and how
he's got like super strength, and he was able to take down the horse for that reason.
Yeah, and then how like they were able to do all these, like you said, I don't want to give spoilers away, but they're able to do like all these things that would have put down a normal person, and the reviver keeps coming back, but this person is like so far gone, like mentally, that their only instinct is just to kill, at least up to a point, because like they do take compassion with their loved ones, that maybe it was like a fight or flight thing going on, with that person in their brain, and they were in the fight, section of it, but with their loved one, like the scene where like the reviver was crawling into the coffin, with the daughter that was basically that the reviver killed on accident, and so it's like you can see the sincerity of it playing in that person's eyes, and you don't know exactly what they're thinking, but you just see the two sides of the coin, like the niceness of that person, and then you can also see like the raw animalistic intent of I guess I don't know if it's actually fight or flight, or if it's just maybe it is a zombie-esque, or it's like that part of the brain, that I don't even know what the word would be.
Yeah, because it seems like some of the revivers don't come back the same, either that, or like some of their more, like you said, animalistic, like basic lizard brain parts of them are like exacerbated, because of the way they revived.
Yeah, there's another scene too, like where they kind of got a meeting of revivers. They're just kind of like a therapy session, or like like
a support group.
Yeah, support group. Thank you. And the one of the things that they were saying was that they felt empty inside. They're like, oh, I've come back, but I feel empty inside. I feel like there's something missing.
Yeah, like they came back without their soul or something.
Yeah, and that's basically like what the religious fanatics are basically saying, is
right.
that they're soulless, or that they're demons, or they're spawns from hell that need to be casted back.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so many different themes that circle around the whole thing of, coming back from the dead.
Yeah, and you never know like what you're getting, and all like back when Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, exactly. That has to be one of the inspirations. When
because that's one of the things that they say. You don't know what you're getting when it comes back.
Yeah. And that was like the crazy part of like the guy really wanted to bring back his son or his kid.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's the danger, right? Like you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, there's elements of that in Revival for sure.
So yeah, the cast is I only know the one person, David James Elliott. He's a Canadian actor, but he played Harmon Rabb from Jag. And Jag was huge on CBS for quite some time. And the lead actress, like I said, her name is Dana. Their last name is Cypress, so she's Dana Cypress. She's played by Melanie. I don't even know how to pronounce her last name.
Sounds Italian. Scrofano?
Yeah, Scorfano.
Scrofano, yeah.
But she's from Letterkenny and a drama
really?
series called Being Erica. Now, I'm not too familiar with Letterkenny. I've seen some episodes here and there,
Yeah.
but I've never seen her character in that. And this show is actually full of Canadian actors. I mean, there's a shit ton of Canadian actors.
It makes sense.
I mean, I also think that they're filming up in Canada as well too. But
Yeah.
they've got a lot of Canadian actors. And then the girl that plays M is Romy Weltman, and there's nothing too much on her except for she looks like she used to be ex Disney.
Yeah,
So
that
she was in
tracks.
a couple. Yeah,
That
she was in a
tracks.
couple Disney shows. Definitely looks completely different. I mean, she's like anti-Disney in this show.
Yeah.
From the way she looks.
Well, the themes would call for that. The only guy I recognize is Stephen Ogg. He plays that weird guy, Blaine Abel. I remember him from GTA 5. He was one of the characters. And
I see that.
He had a recurring role in season maybe 5 through like 8 of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, it says that too. But I don't remember him in the Walking Dead either. So
He was like Negan's like right arm hand for a little bit.
Oh, that's probably why, because I stopped right at that first season of Negan.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he's after that.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah, he
he's in
looks
that.
like he could be the bad guy in things.
Yeah.
He's got that look.
Yeah, in GTA, he's the crazy one. He's the one that's always shooting first, asking questions later, and things like that. So yeah, he's the crazy guy.
But yeah, he's the religious fanatic in this TV series.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So, and yeah, it's really cool to see his character develop. Guest stars on the show, you got Phil Brooks. Everybody knows him as CM Punk. He plays one of the brothers, the Czech brothers. There are 3 brothers, and he's the as he proclaims it to everybody, the brains of the outfit. And you got the other 2 brothers, which I think are also Canadian guys. I don't have their information right in front of me, though. Where's the IMDb? But yeah, the Czech brothers, even their mom, is a little, like, kind of batshit crazy. Where are they? And then you got the 2 CDC people. Andy McQueen, another Canadian actor, plays Abraham Ramin. He's also the love interest of Dana Cypress in the TV series. I don't know if he is also in the comic books.
Yeah.
And then you have... Rhodey is the guy who... his character is the one that takes the knife and does the Jim Rowe circus shit to his chest. And then Carla Morale, she's played by Paige Evans. She's the other CDC person, and there's like a little, I guess, like not switcheroo, like a little like fuck over. Like she's doing some things that the mayor wants her to do, like experimentation on the revivers, and the other CDC guy, Abraham, is like totally against it. He's like full on like liberal. Doesn't want to partake in like violence. Doesn't believe in guns.
Yeah.
Doesn't want people to be tortured. And he's a scientist, and it makes sense. People shouldn't be tortured.
That's why I like that dynamic between him and the dad, the sheriff.
Yeah.
They're always clashing. I mean, obviously, because he knows he's got something going on with his daughter, but like at the same time, it's like that dichotomy between the liberal ideas of the scientist and the no nonsense of the sheriff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that most of the comedic beats kind of come from them. For me, anyway. Every time they're in camera together in a scene, they make me laugh. I'm just like, oh shit.
Yeah, and they're not even trying to do comedy either. It's just,
Right.
It's just, yeah, like you said, the dynamic between the two, because you're like, what the fuck's gonna happen? And then you got there's So yeah, it's just like so many different stories like going on in this one season. So there's this reporter, Mei Tao, and she's played by Catherine King So, and like later on you find out that her and another character were kind of intertwined, and which is another subplot of the story of what's going on. Everything's all connected. It's like one big umbrella, but it's like got individual stories, but all those stories all connect to one subplot. Which I'm guessing in episode 10 we're going to find out what that main plot was. Does it come back to the thing that created the revivers, or was it something else? Yeah, Matt Willis is Andrew Check, and Joe Deflin is Adam Check, and CM Punk plays Anthony Check. I'm trying to find the mob.
Yeah, he's the older brother, right?
Yeah, he's the Patty Check. No, that's Patty Cypress. Sorry, my bad. Dorothy Check, played by Wendy Lyon. So she's a little out there. She's like I think she knows what's going on with her boys, but she is playing dumb or doesn't want to be openly in the know of what their side hustle or their business is, besides like running drugs and doing all this stuff. And so like the latest thing that Check Boys had gotten themselves into is selling reviver parts. So since the revivers can heal, they were basically cutting body parts off of revivers and selling them to like the highest
selling
bidder.
Kidneys and stuff like
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, black market shit.
Yeah.
But she's like an artist, so she has like a ton of like weird ass paintings at her house. So and she invites people in to like buy paintings, and then also it's kind of like one of those like I don't want to say it's a segue, but it's like one of those you scratch my back, I scratch your back type deal. Like if you buy one of my paintings, I'll tell you what you need to know or give you some information.
Yeah, and her paintings are always awful, but but that one scene where the cop, the main character, gets some information, buys a painting, and the one of the brothers comes out, and he's being confrontational with her while the lady's going out to get the painting, and he is being confrontational and ends up saying, "Hey, don't mess with my family." But then he gives her a comic book. I don't know if you noticed that in that scene. He gives her a comic book, and it's issue 1 of Hack Slash. Yeah,
I think it's the same comic book that's stabbed in the wall.
Yeah.
But that's also how they know that. So M she gets kind of kidnapped at one point, and that's how Dana figures out that she was kidnapped. Was the comic book was like stabbed in the wall. She's like, oh, the Czech brothers have him, or have her.
Yeah.
So it's like a dead giveaway.
Yeah, but what made me laugh is that it wasn't even like, because the Image used to have a line of comic books called Image First, which was issue 1s, but they would sell them for $1. So it wasn't even like the issue 1 of Hack Slash. It was like that dollar version that he gave her. So that made me laugh.
Yeah, and the guy who plays the Czech brother.
Yeah, Matt Willis. Yeah, that's him.
Matt Willis.
That's him.
He's got that very intimidating look to him.
Yeah, he's a big guy too.
Yeah, plays Andrew Check.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's just making like threats basically to her, just saying, hey, you fuck with me and my family, it's gonna come back tenfold on you.
Yeah. And gives her a cheap copy of a comic book that's really popular.
But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with the way the show is going. I can't wait to see how it plays out in episode 10. And yeah, like I said, I'm really intrigued to see how many comics involved are going to be that first season. Is it 10 issues? Is it 12, 15 issues? Is it 4 issues? How involved is it? How in depth is it?
It should at least be the first story arc, which I believe is the first 6 chapters. So, yeah, we'll see how it develops, and I hope it comes back to us for a second season, because It's working out really, really well in the TV show.
Yeah, I mean it's got a lot of, like I said, there's so many different subplots that are happening in this show all at once, and it's just, without giving everything away, it's hard to even talk about it, being that we don't want to give spoilers for this. Although I did give away some things, but the stuff I basically was talking about is really kind of like, if you put 2 and 2 together, you're gonna get 4, and it's relatively remedial, like to figure out, but there's just, like I said, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, 5. I think there's like 6 or 7 subplots happening all at once.
That's one thing I'm a little bit nervous about coming up with the season finale. Is I hope they don't leave too many cliffhangers, because if they don't renew to a season 2, it's gonna be really frustrating to see so many subplots not tied up.
Yeah, there's I want to say at least 2 of them that I know of as of right now that were wrapped up by episode 9, and so episode 10 is gonna have to really like wrap up these things real fancy with a bow. Otherwise, if they leave it with a cliffhanger, fingers crossed that we get a second season.
Yeah.
Because these are the type of shows also that these companies or whoever's like running these TV series decide that, yeah, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, and they move on. They're just like, fuck this. Didn't do what I thought it was going to do, even though like a lot of probably I'm sure the comic book people are just loving this, or they might be hating it. I don't know. 'Cause like I said, I haven't read the comics, so I can't make the comparison.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just fingers crossed that we get that second season, and that everything wraps up, at least wraps up enough for it to still want to continue to the second season.
Yeah, Netflix is notorious for canceling shit. First season, even though it's popular, even though people like it, even though it's good.
Well, this one's on Sci-Fi, not Netflix.
Yeah, no. I mean, just Netflix is just one of those that is egregious about canceling crap like that. Where like you get caught up into the season, and then they're like, "Yep, that was it. That we're not gonna tell you what happens next because it's not making us money." Hopefully,
they did that with Sandman. Like Sandman, they gave us the first season. And then they basically were saying, oh, we're going to sign it on for a second season. And then, like, somewhere in the summer, they're like, well, the second season's going to be its last season. So,
yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck?
Or they just ended. I think it was Jupiter's Legacy that it wasn't even an ending. It just, the season 1, they said, we'll continue the story in season 2. And then Netflix said, nope, no, we're not. And I was like, gee, thanks. And so many, I could name a dozen things that Netflix has done that with. But hopefully with the Sci-Fi Channel, they're a small enough, production that the budget allows for them to actually tell the story that they want to tell.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't cost very much. I mean, they're in a rural town, so it seems like it's not very expensive, but what do I know?
Yeah. Well, you were telling that the effects were done pretty well, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, if it was CGI, I couldn't really tell if it was CGI. That's how good it was.
Cool.
I'm hoping that it's more practical effects and
rotoscoping.
Jesus. But yeah, the CGI, if there is any, it's really good for a TV show. The creatures itself looked really cool, and they didn't look very CGI to me.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully they renew it. We'll keep you guys posted on the news, and I'm gonna keep my ear to the ground on that for sure.
Yeah. I definitely can't wait for you to get that comic trade. I want to definitely check that out. I want to make the comparison, from the book to the TV. So, but yeah, check it out. Revival, 10 episodes, Sci-Fi Channel, drops. Last episode is this coming Thursday, which today is August 9th. So that would be
in less than a week.
August 14th.
Yeah.
So by the time I get this edited, hopefully it'll be Monday the 11th. So 4 days from that point, it'll be dropping for the last episode.
All wrapped up, and you guys can go out and binge watch those 10 episodes if you want, or watch one per day, or however your pace is. It'll be all available.
So, any final thoughts on Revival?
Yeah, like I said, I can't wait to put my hands on those on a reread of that comic book. I do have the first few issues, but I think I'm gonna wait till I have the actual book in my hand and just go through the whole thing and just completely consume it. But and now that the all 10 episodes are on, yeah, I'm totally gonna get caught up. I'm excited. It's been a fun ride so far. Hopefully it keeps going.
Yeah, I agree. Awesome. Well, we'd like to thank Liquid Death as our unofficial sponsor. This green guillotine has been great, murdering my thirst through this podcast. I don't know about you, but I'm really happy with it.
I just killed mine right now. That was good.
And if you like the music for the intro and the outro, that's by a band named Zayo. They've been with us the entire time, and you guys can check out their stuff on zayoonline.net. And like I say always, all of our social media, you can find all of our information out through our social medias. So we have our podcast on the Apple Podcast, Spotify, pretty much anywhere where podcasting is available. Starting to get crazy there. You can find all information out on our website, www.thehorrorscene.com. I post horror trivia every couple days, and that's on all of our socials. And you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, which is now X, Tumblr. Also, our podcast is put on YouTube and Rumble. And you can also find the horror trivia on TikTok. I got a pretty big following there, surprisingly. And yeah. So just remember to stay creepy and to keep it spooky. And from our grave to yours, these have been your last rites.